Cool. We are on. So, good evening, and we're just going to jump right into it. This is Andre Sanders. I just wanted to let you guys know just real briefly, just straight to the point. We're getting straight into talking about list building, and it's going to be pretty cool once you listen to our different sides, though, from Neil, on Ian, my side, as far as getting started, as far as building the list online. But let me just tell you something real quick for as far as how I just got started into the home-based business profession. And my point, my story is just real brief. I've been playing semi-pro football here in Jacksonville, Florida, for several years, and the only thing I saw when I first saw a business too, as far as working at home, the home-based business, I was like, yep, that's it. We're going playing football professionally right there using this vehicle because that's really all I was looking for was a vehicle. Working in the warehouse, which I've been doing here for several years, was not going to be helping me attain that freedom. And personally, I did want to just go and leave a job knowing that okay, it's not a guarantee. Let's say if I were to make a team professionally, that I would make that team. So I was thinking, okay, I don't want to go and have to work somewhere. So why not build a business online? I mean, a home-based business makes more sense as far as having some type of income coming in. So, long story short, I did the traditional way as far as building a list on a piece of paper, names and numbers, and then calling. Whether building a relationship too, let's say with friends or family. I knew the people too that the friends and family that might have had the negative mindset. So of course I didn't waste my time with those. But the ones that were interested, the ones that I had a good relationship with too, those are the ones I was able to contact with. Only thing is, got a lot of no's with that too, but still kept the relationship. So only sad thing when that business I had fell down because of a different stuff structured, the way it's structured out. The company was shut down. Coming into the business that we're a part of now. That's what I was able to learn just to do it now almost 100% online. Too. What I mean by that is actually not to worry about driving around doing home meetings, doing one-on-ones at Starbucks or Panera's, your typical coffee shops too. But I could build a relationship with somebody online too, and also do something such as this, as far as having a hangout set up where I can have a lot more people other than worry if I'm going to have somebody going to no-show me in the hotel meeting, or sometimes they no-show me in their own house, go believe it, in their own home, believe it or not. So the cool things that I know that I was able to learn just a little bit were learning how to give out value. Okay, so what do you mean by value? Well, for starters, what's the main thing that a lot of people that are building a home-based business profession looking for? Leads. I think it's safe to say that too. Isn't am I right, guys? As far as leads. So with that too, the cool thing what we do here is as far as giving that value, giving that training as far as building the rapport. Again, there's nothing wrong with the offline model. That's been working. That's been proven. It's been working for several years. And the only thing is, too, today's time. If I were to call, let's say Neil, if somebody Neil lived about 5 minutes from where I stay at, and I just got started in a home-based business profession. I called him up. I got my script, and then he's like, listen to me, like, hey, I'm like, hey Neil, you keep your business office open, and he's like, yeah, why are you talking like that? Or more than likely, if I were to call him, and then he can just text me back and say, hey, text me back, say, hey, what you want? That's happened before too. I know people that are doing the business offline understand where I'm coming from. But again, it's just better and it's cooler too when you do it online because again, you can give out more value. You can do something as far as just using your camera, just putting out videos, and just pretty much show people what you do. Like for example, I started off talking about, oh, okay, you play semi-pro football, okay, works in a warehouse too. Right there, you have a little bit something about me. So that's the cool thing too. But you also might not know as far as just that process too, that journey that that we're taking as far as just building ourselves up, with the personal development. That does come through too. So I can more good stuff coming in, I can give out a little bit better value coming out too. That's the cool thing about this. So this coming from, let's say, somebody who might have, somebody who might be like just starting today, or somebody who just started yesterday. Uh, For starters, you need an autoresponder. Now I know there's several out there too. I know the system that we use, guys. We've know people that have either used Aweber, GetResponse, GBO. It's pretty much toward the Aweber and GetResponse that we're using too, especially in our circles right now in our home-based business professions. So we've been using those too, and pretty much it's not so much pushing out, being like more of the this, hey, get in my business, get in my business, get in my, those type of emails. Because if I were to do that, I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, he has his email, delete, or straight trash, point blank. That's just how some people operate. But if it's something that's a value, something that people like, oh man, this, getting set up for the next thing. Like, let's say if I were just, start a story, once upon a time, and then I just stop. You're gonna be like, okay, what's the rest of the story? You're gonna want to come back and open up the next email, whatever that might be. Could be the next day, could be 2 days later, who knows? So just give me a little bit of example. I'm not gonna go too long in detail, but that's just a little bit of pretty much offline to compare to offline to online as far as building, just that relationship part too, as far as building a list too, because some people might be like, huh, list, online, offline. I understand. I was the same way well over a year ago. I was still in an offline mindset as far as, wait, I don't have a piece of paper. I thought this was online. I was like, what, I need names, numbers. I wasn't really thinking straight as far as going through and doing the process online. And one thing too, and this is something toward Neil's background, because I know, Neil, you're more on the corporate side too in the world, as far as somebody who's, let's say, want to do a business offline or online. But one thing I noticed too, listen to you talk too, is just pretty much being real strategic. You're pretty good at being strategic as far as, okay, let me have this all. Pretty much, you like your numbers guy. You like to have everything, your I's dotted, your T's crossed before you really get started too. So, what would be pretty much your little background as far as if you want to begin building a list online? Besides, obviously, the first thing first, having a business period that you want to do.
Well, if obviously you need something to be promoting in order to be generating a list, because ultimately you're not going to be generating a list just for the sake of generating a list. We can all say I've got 1 million people on my list, but the fact is, the follow-up question people are going to get from that is, how much money are you making from that list? So if you haven't got nothing to sell to them, you kind of, you're spending money to do nothing really. So first things first, you need to have a good product to promote, but you also need a way to communicate with your list, because your list ain't going to be appreciate being hammered with offer after offer after offer. Again, it's all about relationship marketing. So if I came up to you, like we met in Las Vegas a couple of months ago, and basically if I came straight up to you and just no regard for who you are, why you were there, and what things you're looking to achieve, and I'm just trying to hammer you to get you into my business, you're likely to just walk away from me and just think, I don't want to talk to him and I don't want nothing to do with him. It's kind of the same thing. If you just hammer them with email after email after email, they're just going to turn off. Chances are they're not even going to open it, which means eventually your emails are going to fall into the junk folder. If not, they'll probably just unsubscribe straight away, or just put it as spam or whatever. So what you got to do is, first thing, appeal to the people. So when you get those emails coming in, you need to start building that relationship and talk about what they want, find out what they want, and then start to build a relationship. And like I say, I can just walk up to you, and if I like we did at the event, I come up to you, shake your hand, say, hi, my name's Neil, what's your name? Sort of get to know each other, and over time, I didn't go too far, just quick named, said what I'd like to do, what my intentions were. So wanted to get a hangout going so we could start getting to know each other, start building that relationship. And from there, we've hit it off. Next week we're going to meet up in Nashville, and we're going to spend a lot of time together shooting videos and whatever else. So over 3 months, I've built that relationship with you, and that's what it's all about. Whereas if I'd have just come at you straight from the off and says, buy this, buy this, buy this, chances are you'd probably never even respond to anything that I'd have said to you. And that's, for me, what relationship marketing is all about. So when you get somebody coming into your list, you need to talk to them as if they're a real person, not how much money you can get from them. If you come at them from a different perspective, you will always get more money out of them, and that's a proven fact. So treat them as a real person. Like you're trying to show them you're a real person, you need to treat them as the real person you're proclaiming to be. So give them value, find out what they want, and give it to them. And then eventually, the amount of value you give out will flow back to you, and you'll soon see that in the money that you generate. But when I talk about traffic in particular, my experience of traffic, I like to do solo ads. There's a whole different, there's so many different ways of doing marketing, it's unbelievable. But you need to stick to one, you need to focus on one strategy, one specific marketing method, and work at it until you see results. And if you try something and it doesn't work, that doesn't mean to say it doesn't work, and that doesn't mean to say that you're no good. It means that you need to learn it. It's no different from having a job. So when you get a job, you walk into it, you go in, first thing you're going to do is go to your supervisor and say, okay, what do I need to do? And you're going to watch and learn exactly what to do. You go in there, you've got a completely open mind. You don't think about, I know what I'm doing. I know what this is and I know what that is. But so many people make that mistake, and I'm guilty of it too. Whenever I used to watch a video, I used to think that I knew exactly what was coming, and most of the time I wasn't even paying attention. But when I come back with a completely different mindset of like, you know what, I'm going to learn this, and I'm determined to do whatever I need to do to get where I need to go. And I come at it with a completely different mindset, not a mindset of I know this and I know that. I come at it, well, what else can I learn from this? And I got the breakthroughs I needed. I learned what I needed to learn. So when people walk into a job, they're quite humble, they're prepared to learn, but yet when they transition to going online, they don't have that same mindset. So when people try to approach them and say, can I teach you this? Well, they don't say, can I teach you this? But they send them videos of trying to show them what it is they're doing. They don't seem to have the same approach. They just think, no, that doesn't work, that doesn't work. And it's like, well, you haven't tried it. You don't know that. So what I would say to people is when you try something, don't think that trying it once means that it's never going to work. Because if you talk to every single guru that's out there and you ask them, how many campaigns did you set up? How many times did you try something and that would fail? Even now, most of the top marketers will actually say, every 10 campaigns I set up, they will have 4, maybe 5, possibly even 6, to be honest, because they are good at what they do, but they're not going to get a perfect 10. That is a physical impossibility. You might get a 10 maybe on one first set of 10 that you do, maybe. Chances are probably not, but you won't get that again. You cannot, and it is impossible to set up a campaign and get it successful not first time around, but to get every single campaign you set up to be successful. Even now, the top marketers will tell you it takes time and it takes work. You set up 5 campaigns or 3 campaigns, you test it every one, and then you see which one works or which one's getting the best results. You keep that one, and then you try it with another 3, or you try something else. You're always testing as a marketer. So if something doesn't work, that doesn't mean to say it doesn't work. That just means that it didn't work that time. Try again. Try something else. Try and find out why it didn't work. Maybe you need to change the headline. Maybe you need to change your approach. Maybe you need to change who you're targeting. There's a whole load of different things that you can actually change, and you need to get everything congruent. So if I'm trying to say to you, I want to target people who are working from home, but then I say straight away, look at me and how much money I'm making. That's not necessarily targeted towards people that are working from home, because the message for people working from home is freedom, lifestyle, and basically most of the people that work from home want to do it because they want to spend more time with their kids. So it's a completely different shift. And I certainly came from that approach, thinking all people online just want to make money. And it's like, whilst that is true, that's not the true reason why they're there. They want money because it's what they do for them, and that's the breakthrough I had a couple of months ago, and I think I've been speaking to you quite a lot about that as well. So it's like I said, just because something doesn't work first time round doesn't mean to say it doesn't work at all. Test it, and test it, and only when you've got a reasonable amount of data can you look back and think that didn't work. And okay, that particular campaign didn't work, maybe that particular strategy didn't work, but that doesn't mean to say that marketing method doesn't work, because whatever marketing method you're using, I can guarantee you I will find you at least 5 people that are having great success with it. So whatever you're doing, I can guarantee you now somebody is having a great success with it. So keep going, find what works, find people that are doing it that works, and seek out what they do, find what they do, and just do what you can to get the breakthroughs you need, because that's all it is. It's all about breakthroughs.
Yeah, that's true too, because also in Napoleon Hill's book, Thomas Edison, how many times did he fail to finally get the first light bulb up and going? Well over 10,000 times. So it's a matter also too, as you mentioned, just how quickly you fail too in the process.
What did he say? When somebody said to him that didn't work, or stop doing that because it doesn't work, you won't be able to do it, what was his response?
What are you talking about? Oh no, I think you failed so many times.
No,
when he tried to, sorry.
I haven't failed. I just found 10,000 ways that don't work, or something
exactly.
like that, wasn't it?
Exactly, and that is the mindset he was in. So if he was thinking this doesn't work, then he's got the wrong mindset, and that light bulb would have never existed. But he just had them up. It does work. It will work. I just need to find a way to make it work, and that's the approach. So whenever something did go wrong, I goes, right, well that didn't work. Next, what's the next one? What else can I try? And eventually, through sheer persistence, he made it. And I don't know if it exactly took him 10,000 goes. I don't know that. But whatever it took, he could have, if he'd have tried at the first attempt and failed at the first attempt, if everybody gave up at the first attempt, I guarantee now you wouldn't have had things like planes and cars and light bulbs and heating and you name it. This world would be back in the Stone Ages.
Yeah, no, it's funny because then we wouldn't be able to be talking like how we are doing right now live. Somebody here in the States and then 2 people in the country of England. Go figure. On an online meeting right now. Also, since we're still sticking on to building a relationship, too, and a little bit of that story, Ian, yours is real good too, as far as your story of where you came from, as far as when we first met at our company event probably about 7-8 months ago now. But also, too, how have you been able to use that experience as far as letting your own list know about who you are?
It's a good point actually, and as far as piggybacking off what you were saying before, Andre, because you're saying like there's 2 different ways to build a list. I'm just gonna dumb it down again and keep it simple here, and obviously there's offline ways of building a list and online ways, and when I first got started, like I was just wanted to find a way out of where I was in my current situation in that present moment. So I got started with where we're at with Empower in November 2013, and never in a million years would have even got involved with any sort of company if it was going to be offline, because of the fact of being such a shy person, and being able to go and interact with people was completely out of where I was in my comfort zone. And it was a big enough thing to come online, but to go and prospect people offline was just completely, it was out of my head completely. And then being able to figure a way, if I can't do it offline, well, online seems so much more simpler, and it seems so much more, you don't need to get yourself out there quite as much. You can kind of hide behind the computer screen a little bit, but the main draw was the fact that you can automate it so much more online, whereas in fact offline list building, it's like you can be chasing people around and getting a list of your friends and family and going up to people, and you go up to people one by one, or you you're doing home meetings or all this stuff. And what I kind of realised without even thinking of it is it's just it's a draw on your time. You can't really, unless you can get hundreds and hundreds of people to a place and be able to speak to them all at once, it's a drawback on your time. Where in fact, we're building a list online. You can put out a video. You can have a blog. You can gain followers that way, and you can be speaking to a whole variety of people all over the world, like we're doing right now. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can build a list anywhere, no matter where you are. And that's the awesome thing about online. That's what drew me into the fact of being able to do it online, is that you can attract people from all over the world, and it doesn't matter what your background is, where you're from, what religion you agree to, or anything. It doesn't matter, so long as you see what I'm doing now and you're interested because you can relate to what I'm saying. And coming from the background of being this, person who was definitely not confident, or definitely was like this, shy, reclusive guy who didn't know what he wanted with his life. So it doesn't matter where you come from, so long as you take action, as we're all saying, to come back around to what we were saying before. And as far as list building goes, it's pretty straightforward, and there's not too many things to hit upon. As long as you know who you're targeting, you know what your target audience is, and you can speak directly to the problems and solve the problems by putting a video out there, putting some sort of value, a free ebook or something like that, a reason for them to give you their email address, maybe what you've opted into one of our lists and you're watching this video right now, and something that's going to help solve people's problems. And it's as simple as that. And bringing it back around to anyone who wants to chime in and ask any questions, or
Yeah, I'm about to bring up another person here real quick as soon as I send him the link. But just wanted to also bring up another thing too, as far as that obviously I guess you can kind of say we're spoiled in a sense, because we have this another system inside the business that we're using as well. And this a little bit from my own experience too. And this I've only listened to the people that, like Neil mentioned earlier, that are making it happen too. And thank goodness for our business partner Chris Jones for starting. Oh my goodness, for starting this system, because I'll kind of throw it right back to you here in a few moments, Neil, because yes, I know personally I do use Solo Ads myself too, but only the traffic or the clicks that pretty much the leaders within our company are using to pretty much not get not just get an email, to your capture page, and this, it's basically a dud, but actually true people that are just actually open. That's almost like if we mentioned before, if you were going back to my offline experience, you trying to, that's almost like trying to prospect somebody who's just completely negative mindset. They're fine where they are, even though you might know the situation. It doesn't really matter as far as that. It's just that they're stuck in their ways or whatever. And you're like, no, you don't want to deal with that. That's the cool thing about building a list online, because somebody might be negative. It's like, okay, unsubscribe, point blank, because I'm not gonna. Why put energy into somebody where you got so many more people coming down in the future that you got to go and pretty much continue to just help out and give out value to? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't see the purpose of that. It's like, or chasing somebody. You don't have to worry about chasing somebody, because when you keep on giving out so much value, they're going to come and chase you. They're going to be wanting to open up your emails and as far as, okay, what is he going to say this time, or what type of trainings might he have? Neil, I know you mentioned it to Ian and I before, as far as the wrong sources of getting your traffic. So do you know, like, oh my goodness, what would be probably some of the things too that maybe those companies might offer, as far as, is it because of a lower price? It's because okay, you might have more leads. What is the thing that's really catchy? Because I know that's I mean, it's a little bit more on the negative side, but it's just something you gotta, yeah, we have to let people know to avoid when building a list online.
Yeah, that's true. You know, the first thing the first thing people are trying to do to get your attention, because the only thing that is going to grab my attention when I'm looking to buy traffic is money. And if you're trying to offer me a great service but at a really discounted price, if I was inexperienced, I'd be like, well, yeah, that sounds great, because you know, if I'll give you an example. When I first, well, it's about 2 years ago now, when I first started getting into solo ads, I went onto this website called Fiverr.com. Now, I wasn't looking for a solo ad in particular, but this guy actually says, I will email my database of 1 million people and it'll only cost you $5. And now, at first, mine was like, I was a bit skeptical, but then I thought, well, hang on a minute. If I just send a link out, surely some people will click on it and I'll get some leads out of 1 million. And even if I get a 1% response rate out of 1 million people, that's still 10,000. And they're just thinking that, you know, their numbers alone, I should get still quite a decent amount of response. But, you know, at the end of the day, someone's prepared to email 1 million people and it's only going to cost you $5, you have to question what's in that list. You know, it's all to do with targeted marketing. So if people are prepared to offer you such a discounted price, the bigger, so if someone's saying, I will get you 100 people to your website, get you 100 clicks to a particular website or a link or whatever it is that you're promoting, then you can generally expect to pay, I would say, no less than $50. $50 would be about a reasonable price. If you've got someone who's offering $10 for 100 clicks, I would question the quality of that traffic. You are always, in any business, in any part of the world, you pay for quality. You know, think about chocolate bars, for example. You could go out there and go to a shop and you can pay 10p for a chocolate bar, but you know that is going to taste awful. Whereas if you go there and you buy a Galaxy, you're going to expect to buy you're going to expect to pay a lot more, but you know that is quality. And it's the same difference when it comes to buying solo ads. So if someone's offering you a low price, they're doing that to try and get you the money, because you think, well, it's really cheap, I don't have a great deal of money, I'm going to give it a try. But it's not going to work, because if someone's prepared to offer you that low price, they're either doing it as a one-off, which means they're getting your business, which means you'll come back to them and they'll start hiking the price to say, right, now you've seen the quality. But if they should be telling you that straight from the off, to be honest. And I'll be honest with you, I've never come across anyone that does that. They'll generally have a flat fee of saying, this is how much I do it, take it or leave it. That's the way it is. You can barter with them and you can try and drive the price down a little bit, and some of them do that, but a lot of them will turn around and go, no, this is my price, take it or leave it, because they know the quality of their traffic. That's what it all comes down to. So when you buy the traffic, what you're looking for is confirm via tracking that you have had delivered the amount of clicks or whatever it is you've bought. So if you're buying 100 people to your website, okay, so let me go back because I haven't explained how solo ads work. So solo ads, basically, you've got someone who has a database list of emails. So they've got people on their email list who they email on a regular basis, and they can send them an email and they'll get a certain percentage of people that will click on that offer time and time again. So what they do is you buy a solo ad from them and you're going to email your offer, whatever that may be, you email that to their list. Or sorry, you give them your email and they will send it to their list. And if you've got your tracking in place, which there are plenty of tracking platforms out there, which you put your link in there, it'll tell you how many people have clicked on that link. If you can see that somebody has put in over 100 clicks, then they over-delivered. You should only get 100, but to be honest, everyone does it nowadays. They'll always over-deliver. So if you get by 100 clicks, you probably get something like 105, maybe even 110. Some people will go as high as 120. It just depends on the person. But you buy that, and if you get 120 clicks, for example, and I'm not going to give you any guarantees as to what amount of traffic, what amount of signups you're going to get, because every single squeeze page is unique. Everybody's different. So I'm not going to offer you no guarantee of results. Remember, at the end of the day, results were always going to vary. But if you've got a general offer, I would say you should be expecting at least 10% sign up. And if you're not getting more than 10% sign up, then you have to go back to your squeeze page and test it. But again, if you're still getting similar results, no matter how many times you try it, I would question the quality of the traffic. Generally, I mean, the best response I've got from a solo ad, I think it was 71% sign up rate. That was one of my first, not my first solo ads, but it was one of the first 5 solo ads I did. But the standard of quality of traffic when I went back to them the last time, very, very poor. So whatever they've done, I'm not sure. But you know, when they first started, great response rate, but now it's just, I think I got 8 sign-ups out of a 200 clicks, which is absolutely, that is very, very poor. So to be honest, I've never even gone back to him, and I never will, because I know that his quality of his traffic's now diminished. But if you buy something and it doesn't work, again, going back to the same principle that I said earlier, don't say this don't work, it's a scam and this now. All right, well, that person doesn't work. You can ask for your money back, but I can almost guarantee you now, every single decent solo ad vendor will say, once you purchase these clicks and they've been delivered, it's no refund policy. You're buying into the traffic, and I can't guarantee how well it's going to convert and this and that. And that's where you do get people who can catch you out. But again, like I say, unfortunately, it's just a numbers game. So what I always look for when I'm talking to people about solo ads, I always ask them what their most recent success rate is, what's the best open rates they've got, can they give me any recent examples that they've done. And one thing that I've shown you last night, Andre, that was a little bit more intense. What I've shown you yesterday, how I validated the latest solo ad that I'm going to test quite recently. I've shown you how I validated how good his traffic was, didn't I? And it was quite an in-depth process, wasn't it? But I've been in the business now for a while, so I've got to know a few people. So Lawrence Tam, Shakir Hussein, and quite a few other people who have purchased solo ads. And if I recognise a few names that I know that have had a great deal of success because they're in the same business that what I'm in, I'm prepared to take the chance, because I can see that the person who's had success is actually having success. So I know that for a fact. I know their quality of traffic has to be good, because there's no way this person would give them a reference otherwise. But when you buy solo ads, you're looking for testimonials, which near enough everyone does nowadays, but always make sure they look legitimate. If you want, email the person and say, can you give me the latest 3 that you've done and the results you've had? Testimonials, I don't want to slander anyone, I don't want to say that they're no good, but there are people out there that offer a service of giving testimonials for free. And it's unfortunate, but it is a way of life nowadays. So you can't always rely on testimonials, which is why I went through the process, what I'd shown Andre yesterday, how I did it. And just for a quick example, just for a quick explanation, basically what I did was I clicked on the guy's website. I found a person who was actually giving him a testimonial. I went to Facebook, found that particular person, matched the photo of what is actually on his testimonial page to ensure that it actually matches. But I also went through YouTube, Google, I went through a whole host of things to make sure that the person I'm going to buy from, I feel comfortable I'm buying the traffic from. And that's what you're looking for, really. You need to trust that person. And you need to take a leap of faith to start with, but you need to feel confident that this person is going to deliver for you. And unfortunately, it's a no refunds policy, so it may scare off some people, but this is why you can buy traffic for like $50. So if you're going to throw your last $50 in it, I would encourage you not to do it. I would always advise you to try blogging or something, free way of generating leads, and we can talk about that a little bit later. If you've got a spare $50 and it's not going to cripple you by putting that money aside, I would always encourage you to test it. But go to Google, type in solo ad vendors, and there'll be plenty of people there. And there is one specific page that I can even show you to now. There's one where you've got about 10 different people who are talking about solo ads, and it tells you loads of people who's had success rate, and they've even given them star rating. So you've got silver, bronze, and gold. Obviously, gold means very good. So I go through my process of making sure that the quality is good, and then I buy I buy at the lowest possible rate possible. So I will start with at least 100 clicks. If it's 200, I don't mind giving it a try. But again, like I said, I'm prepared to take that leap of faith. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, then I'll just cross that person off, and then I'll keep going. Because if I'm prepared to stop at the first attempt, or basically take that mindset of, well, does this really work? Then you're not going to get anywhere. And one person who I follow quite a lot, his name's Mark Sherris. He is what I think he's on the top of the leaderboard in our company. Not Empower Network, but iPass. I think he's at the top of the leaderboard. So if he's doing solo ads and he's at the top of the leaderboard, that tells me solo ads works.
Yeah, and another thing too, Neil, you brought on to some of the people too, and for the ones watching, we gotta remember we're in a business, so we had to put our business caps on as well, because this is sad too. It's an integrity in traditional business, restaurants, maybe gyms, barbershops. That just, unfortunately, I'm sorry that this is how some people are, because there's no integrity. So when you do your research as well too, and I'm glad you brought that up too. That's a good and shoot, you showed me too last night, Neil, as well, as far as actually doing your research, as far as like, oh, okay, this is what's going on, and also too looking at the leaders too, like, in our company, for example. Okay, this is where they're getting their traffic. It's like, all right, let me roll with that too, because I mean, this kind of makes sense. That whole phrase, success leaves clues. So I mean, I'm glad that you kind of showed me that as well too, as far as it's like, all right, let's go through this process. Now again too, once you click the link below too, you also see that you can come and join our team as well, and then you can pretty much get away from that. Cause I know we pretty much more lean toward the side of the paid traffic sources and the paid ways too about building a list, which for us too, because of the system we were talking about earlier, iPass. We've been very fortunate too, because they were able to they did their research as well from their traffic sources, and they were able to find out, okay, these are the ones that are legit too. I know from experience too that I was able to get results right off rip too using the system. So that's the one thing, other than going through all the hassle too, and all the not saying you can't work if you're building a business online, if you want to do something like that, just solo on yourself. But another thing too that we're fortunate to have is our blog platform, so we can put our content wherever it might be as well on there as well too, and then go and share it throughout social media too. That's another thing. That's just a little bit more too, obviously building it for free as well, and just keep on us sharing it, giving out value as well. And before we did start, Ian, you do a little bit too of that real well too, as far as pretty much not only your story to your side too, but sharing it and using Facebook. This doesn't have to be sophisticated, because we have to keep stuff simple here. But just how simple, how pretty much do you go about your ways? Is pretty much working on building a list using Facebook.
As far as building a list with Facebook, it's more so the way I build it. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of ways, of different ways of strategies you can use them. But the way I use it, I don't really use Facebook for building a list. As say, my use of social media is more so on the back end. So when I have people who've already opted into my list, you get them back to Facebook and connect with them there, and getting that, building up that trust value, and that's more so how I use social media. But there's people who use social media, and it's obviously free, and are able to build their list that way. I know people who give away stuff like free ebooks and stuff like this, and video trainings and all this stuff, just by building the Facebook followings. And you guys probably know of other people like that as well. And yeah, it's definitely a great way to build your list, is social media.
One other thing too. Go ahead.
So I was just going to ask Ian about his recent experience that he's had. Do you want to I don't know if you particularly want to talk about that and just sort of tell people what you've done and why people shouldn't also do that, because it may have repercussions for them. I don't know if you want to share that or.
It's a little bit top secret at the moment, but I might share a little bit later on if you stick around. So.
Cool.
That's cool. Another thing too I want to bring up as well is besides the social media too, and this is something that I've learned from Eric Warren, and we see all the time. So we're also talking for the people that might have been kind of new in the home-based business profession. It's almost like a stop it type of sense, because we're not just throwing out this offer like, oh man, go join my company, join this, doing this. No. We like to give out a certain value. If you like to see motivational quotes too, maybe videos as well. I know that's what I look to personally do, put in my blogs too, motivational, inspiring type videos as well. This stuff to get your head pretty much in the game to keep going in a sense. That's one thing that I like to shoot for my list. There's a little bit use that later on, because that's pretty much when you do have your list going on, then that's value type stuff too that I like to send out as well. Another good thing too that I know I've used as well is and we use it all too, is videos. You can be able to build rapport. Another good way too, besides writing out what you like to write out, or so I'd say typing out as far as a blog, but video is another good way as well. It's just for somebody can see you. Oh, okay, this is what this person looks like. You know, they might talk about the background. Like for example, I might be on a football field, or a field I used to work out on, because that's just, you get me on that, and now you're talking. That's my world right there. When I'm on a football field or whatever, practice field, whatever it is, that's my world. I might be just getting done working out, or just walking around, just thinking too. But that's just something that I like to do. Some people might want to do a video wherever, maybe trees in the background at a beach, or wherever, maybe water in the background, or whatever have you. But that's just different type of ways too, just so people can kind of understand. Oh, okay, this is what he likes to do. This is a real person. Oh, he's talking to me, so you can just pretty much get that rapport built pretty well. This is something too that I know you mentioned earlier too, Neil. As far as like, instead of going up to somebody real quick, and then, you know, if you just say, if I was a newbie, I'm throwing up on you, like we mentioned earlier, talking about, hey man, have you seen this? You know, just throwing up all over the person. That doesn't really do anything for you. But over time too, once you're and then the list, it's just value, and then you're like, man, I like this person, and then I was like, I want to be business with this person down the road, because we know too, and also for people that are building business offline, it takes how many exposures. You know, it's the same thing online too. It takes how many exposures to actually get to for somebody to eventually be like, oh, okay, let me go make a decision. It takes about, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere between 6 or 7. I'm not guaranteeing exactly what that number is. Might be less, might be more, but that's just how it is with some people. You know, they got to see this so many times too, and then they got point blank. They got to make a decision. They want to do something better for themselves, or to be stuck with where they are. Point blank.
Yeah, and two stories to follow up with that. If you, obviously to the people that are watching, obviously not going to be aware of this, but one of our mentors, in fact the creator of the system that we're actually using, his name's David Wood. He mentions that there's one particular person now, he's a great marketer now, and he's making a great deal of success in his business, so he's doing quite well for himself. However, David Wood mentioned that this guy joined him, I think it was back in 2010, and David Wood went from system to system to system. Obviously, David Wood was having a great deal of success. This guy followed him wherever, but he didn't always follow through with whatever it was that he did. And, you know, eventually he took on with what David Wood was saying. He listened to David Wood, he applied it to his business, and then he started generating the results. But because David Wood had that rapport with him, this guy followed him wherever he went. If he left one business and went into another, what about Paul Hutchins? Wherever David Wood went, Paul Hutchins followed him time and again. And then eventually when Empower Network, when he created Empower Network, Paul Hutchins basically found it, joined it straight away. No questions asked, because David Wood had that rapport with him. And he knew, he had in the back of his mind, this guy is going to make me the money that I need, and he's going to help me get there. And this is the kind of mindset that you need to develop in your user's mind. If you can do that, then your success is guaranteed. Obviously, again, I can't guarantee it, but I'm just giving you a reference. And another one, Mike Hobbs, another mentor of ours, in fact, mentor of mine, he mentioned on one of his trainings that someone joined his business, someone joined his autoresponder, started his newsletter. He was emailing him from 2008. Someone eventually took action this year in January, if I'm not mistaken. So from 2008 to 2015, that's almost 7 years. And eventually, he just says, look, I've been following you for years. I think you're great. And I just unfortunately was not in a position to join you. Otherwise, I would have done ages ago. So again, people may join you, they may not. But just because they don't, that doesn't mean to say they're not interested. That doesn't mean to say it doesn't work. It just means that they've not had the breakthroughs to get to where they need to go. And that's all you're looking to do. You're not looking to get them from start to finish like that, because you can't do that. Only they can do that. You're looking to provide them with one breakthrough at a time. And you can do that, they will stick around longer. And eventually, all they need is that one breakthrough and everything changes. But again, all you're looking to do is give them the information, give them the inspiration, get them the belief that they can do it, and they will go away and they will do it. But you need to inspire that belief in them. And anybody can do this. You know, go back to our mentor, David Wood. He started this business in the back of his van. And that is no overstatement. That it was in the back of his van. If you watch his story, you read about him. He created a business for him in the back of his van. And in 3 months, he made, was it $25,000?
Yeah, I'll see you.
25 to 30.
Yeah, over about 30. And I was in the results. Exactly. And like, keep on going.
Okay, exactly. So he's a bit of an extreme case because he pounded it and he done whatever it needed to get done. And he is very good at what he does. And obviously, like I say, we can't guarantee that you're going to generate that kind of success. We can't guarantee you're going to generate any kind of success. We can't do that because we can't do the business for you. We can only give you the information that we think you need. We're trying to give you the breakthroughs, trying to learn from our lessons, and hopefully apply them to your business. So what works for us, apply it to your business. What lessons what we've tried and don't work for us, you also learn from. And these are the kind of things that we want to give you. So learn from us, either which way, whatever works and what don't work. You know, apply it to your business and learn from these mistakes and keep going. You know, it's not about try it once and expect results tomorrow. Again, would you walk into your job and expect to get to the CEO role after a week? Chances are that's not going to happen unless you've got some great degrees, and in which case you wouldn't start at the bottom anyway. But that's the same principle, and yet so many people try to do that when they come online. And again, if you walk into your job, do you walk up to your supervisor and say, I know exactly what I'm doing, I can do this? Or do you sit there and say, what do I need to do? You know, but when you come online, you don't follow that same principle. You sit there and think, I'm going to try this once, and you know, I'll do it in my own time. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow, that kind of thing. But you have a completely different mentality than you would do if you was at work. You're not prepared to listen. You're not prepared to apply it to your business. You're not prepared to work every single day. You're not prepared to do whatever it takes. Yet you will do that if you had someone watching over you. And that's the difference of mentality between working from home and working for somebody else. So which one do you prefer?
And another thing, too, as we mentioned earlier, too, again, have your business hats on, because this is the business. Don't be thinking, oh, man, as Neil mentioned earlier, oh, this doesn't work, oh, this wasting this type of money. It's an investment. Perfect example. Here in the United States, what did we just get done just a couple of days ago? Tax season. It's all a write-off. So you're pretty much doing trial and error stuff or things like that. Don't worry, you can write this off because it's your own business. That's right, the whole 1099 here in the States. And this a little bit more back to Uncle Sam will bring you back, because Uncle Sam prefers you building businesses, you know, whether it be offline or online as well too. But the tax laws are almost no different. They really are seriously no different from being a CEO of a major company. And that's something that I learned 5 years ago, being coming into the home-based business profession, because the person that sponsored me at that time was a business owner. He was a doctor. So he told me that too, as far as tax breaks too. So don't be thinking, oh man, these guys said this. No. Remember, it's a business. There are a lot of business owners that have failed trying to get to where they are too. So think about it, if you had your own franchise too, you're not going to be complaining right at that first month. Let's say if you purchased the Subway franchise, you're not going to be complaining about, oh man, I got this much money leaving my bank account per month. No, 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 no. You're not going to be complaining about it. You're going to be worried where you're going to be thinking about building that system to you're finally in the profit mode. And the thing too, once you go and click the link, once you click the green button below, you'll be able to see too that we basically have our own franchise already set up too within the iPass 2 system. So it makes it a little bit simpler, it simplifies you or whatever. But again, you still have to have your business cap on and then take it seriously, because we're not going to guarantee you anything, as we've been mentioning so many times too. We're not going to guarantee you that you'll be making however amount that you're trying to plan to get the first day, first week, first month. But the thing is too, they, like I mentioned earlier too, we all mentioned, they have gone through the process. Our leaders have gone through the process and done the research as far as, okay, this is what's working. If you just follow pretty much the steps they have set up too, you can not so much get the results, not so much get the results either quickly or slow. However, it's basically your choice. But also too, as far as they'll be able to help you along the way too, and you'll have a good group community as well too, such as us, that basically help you out as well to pretty much lead you toward that. Another good example is come next week, we're going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. So we're going to be pretty much on a whole sky-high mentality as well, as far as just helping not only build our business too, but also learn how to help out build people as well. So again, if you want to join us, you got to click the link below too. Tickets have not sold out, fortunately. We're very fortunate, because I'm pretty sure we'll be here the next, next few days. So the tickets are still available. Hint, hint, hint. Once you click the link below and hop on and join us too. Unless you're somebody who lives in Tennessee, like literally across the street from where we're staying at, then why not go and join us too, see us face to face. I think it's pretty cool meeting two people that live in England as well. They're actually going to be here in the United States to go make this happen. So this is another reminder too. With that being said, 2 weeks from today, so let me check my calendar. That will be the 1st of May. We will be back here. So just give you guys the heads up about that. It'll be the 1st of May, since we'll be all out of town. But you have to stay tuned as well too to check your emails, check social media, because we might fool around and try to get on and try to do a quickie as far as doing a hangout. Even though we'll all be roommates, so it's gonna be kind of funny. We could just have our backs toward each other and all have the computers on and talk. Though this is something that I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop as well, that we could possibly do, because we'll be going on with no sleep as well. So we're pretty much just going a straight adrenaline rush. So again, that'll be 2 weeks, same time, 6 p.m. May 1st. Start off the new month. And again, if you want to see what we're talking about for next week, again, you got to click on the link to see what we're talking about and join us. So we'll see you guys here in 2 weeks.
Yeah.